Hello and welcome to this weekend edition of the Daily Dose of Greek, where we continue on these weekend editions to apply the insights of Stephen Baugh from his manuscript Introduction to Greek Tense Form Choice, which is available free for a PDF download under the Resources tab at the Daily Dose of Greek website. Specifically today, we're looking at the infinitive to believe, and we're asking why is it here an aorist infinitive? Why did the author choose here to put the infinitive in the aorist, and what nuance possibly does that convey? So we're just picking up here the end description from Acts 14:1. It says hosta, right? So that, and we know that hosta is frequently followed by an infinitive. Let's just read the Greek here first. Hosta pistusai eudaion te kai helenon palu plethos. So translation, so that a great crowd of both Jews and Greeks believed or came to believe, right? There's a question here about how to render this. Did they believe or did they come to believe? Is there an emphasis on the beginning of that belief? Well, let's talk about that. If you've been tracking with us, you're learning to think about this together, as we're all learning to think about it together as Dr. Baugh is guiding us in thinking more carefully about these constructions. And probably you're thinking hosta, with the result that, so that. I'm wondering, how many times is that followed by a present infinitive versus an aorist, and who knows, maybe even a perfect a few times? Well, thankfully, Dr. Baugh gives us those statistics. 40 times it's followed by a present infinitive, 23 times by an aorist, and 1 by a perfect. So there's a preference for the present infinitive, but the aorist infinitive is fully in play with that number. But so here we have an aorist infinitive. So, okay. So then you say, well, let me think about the verb pistuo. So, believe, pistuo. You say, well, naturally, that's more of a stative verb. We're talking about a state of belief, and it's naturally more atelic or unbounded, right? I would expect this verb to occur more frequently in a present infinitive because it's more naturally atelic or unbounded. Believing in something is an ongoing activity without a natural terminus. Interestingly, in the New Testament, 5 times it occurs as a present infinitive, and 7 times as an aorist infinitive. So that doesn't track with what we might have expected. Now, here's where the wisdom and experience and insights of Dr. Baugh are very helpful. He points out that from his reading and study that for stative verbs like belief, when they occur in the aorist and the infinitive, there's often an emphasis on the inception or the ingressive. There's an ingressive emphasis, an emphasis on the beginning, an inceptive nature of the activity, or we might call it an ingressive aorist, focuses on the beginning. Thus, this is his translation, came to believe, and the justification for that is, again, to look at the patterns of the word and noting that when you have a stative verb, a verb that refers to a state, like belief, when the aorist infinitive, we're talking about the infinitives, when the aorist infinitive of that is chosen, if the context supports it, there's often an inceptive or ingressive sense to it. And the context here does seem to support that, right? These people are initially coming to initial saving faith in Jesus. And so we're right to translate this, so that a great crowd of both Jews and Greeks came to believe. So thank you, Dr. Baugh, for your insights on this and for making your manuscript freely available. And I hope that the studies we've been doing through here, these little short weekend features, have been helpful for you.